Hi, I'm Kim Vogel Sawyer. I'm a Christian fiction writer, and I'm also a voracious reader. I learned the love of reading from my mom, who always had a book in her hands. And when I was a junior in high school, my mom gave me a book that has lingered with me all of these years. That book was Christy by Catherine Marshall. From the very first moments I opened that story and began to read, I was absorbed in the world she created. I could so relate to Christy, this young woman who wanted to step into adulthood and new adventures, but still trying to hold on to just a little bit to her childhood by slipping her hand into her father's coat pocket as they walked to the train station together. When we reached Cutter's Gap, I was right there with Christy, with those incredibly vivid descriptions of the mountain and the cabins and the mission and everything. And oh, the people in this book, the way she wrote about them, they were so vividly drawn that I knew them. They became as familiar to me as the people in my own family. I knew Fairlight Spencer and Little Burl and Mountie, who had the terrible stutters, and of course Lundy Taylor and his father Birdseye, and Doc McNeil, and oh, Miss Henderson. What a wonderful, wonderful character. You know, it's interesting to me that this book was written in a time that there really wasn't even a designation for Christian fiction. But the book was so full of godly truths, loving your neighbor as yourself, loving your enemies instead of doing unkind to those that persecuted you, taking care of the widows and the orphans. There were biblical truths scattered throughout the entire novel without ever preaching a single word. The messages that came through were just beautiful. Christian fiction, I think, has become a popular genre because of books like Christy that presented that truth of God being woven through the pages, and readers responded to that. I mean, obviously, the book has been around now for 50 years, and it's reaching a whole new generation of readers. This is one story that I have read 20 times at least. I never grow tired of it. And as I began reading it as a wannabe writer, I just thought, what is she doing here? How is she pulling me in as intensely as she is? I want to do that for my readers someday. So she really set a standard for a lot of us to follow, and I'm grateful for that. Because if you're going to do something, you want to do it well. Just as when Christy went to that town, that little tiny village, she wanted to teach well. She wanted to change lives. Christy the teacher did, and Christy the character did as well. If Christy is ever made into a play for the stage, I call dibs on Miss Henderson.